Princess Alara lived in a grand castle nestled in the heart of a picturesque countryside. The castle was a magnificent structure with tall spires and grand halls that echoed with the history of her ancestors. It stood tall beside the Whispering Woods, a dense forest filled with ancient trees and hidden secrets. The woods were a place of mystery and wonder, where the sounds of nature created a symphony of life. Alara loved animals. She cared for them deeply, spending her days in the castle garden surrounded by rabbits, birds, and other woodland creatures. Her gentle nature and kind heart made her a beloved figure among the animals. Birds flew to her window each morning, singing sweet melodies that filled her room with joy. They trusted her completely, knowing she would always provide them with food and shelter. Squirrels would scamper onto her balcony for nuts, chattering happily as they nibbled on the treats she provided. Alara enjoyed watching their playful antics and often spent hours observing them. Alara even befriended the shy deer in the woods. These gentle creatures would approach her cautiously, but soon learned that she meant them no harm. She would pet them softly, earning their trust and affection. Alara treated all creatures with kindness. She knew animals had feelings just like humans. Her compassion extended to every living being, and she believed in the importance of respecting and caring for all forms of life. She talked to them softly and always listened to their silent messages. Alara had a unique ability to understand the needs and emotions of the animals, creating a bond that was truly magical. Her heart understood the language of paws and feathers, and in return, the animals loved her dearly. Princess Alara's love for all creatures made her a cherished guardian of the natural world. One day, something strange happened. The villagers were unhappy. Every night, noisy frogs disturbed their sleep. These weren't ordinary frogs. They came from the enchanted marsh beyond the village. These frogs were much larger and croaked very loudly. They hopped through the streets, leaving muddy footprints. They bumped into doors and windows, making a terrible racket. The villagers tried shooing them away, but the frogs wouldn't budge. The villagers went to the king for help. They were desperate and worried, as their crops were being destroyed and their sleep disturbed by the constant croaking of frogs. The villagers pleaded with the king to do something about the situation. He wanted to send guards to chase the frogs away. The king believed that by removing the frogs, peace would be restored to the village. He thought it was a simple solution to a simple problem. But Alara stopped him. "There must be a reason why they're here," she said. Alara, the compassionate princess, felt that the frogs wouldn't leave their home without a significant cause. She believed in understanding the root of the problem rather than just addressing the symptoms. They wouldn't leave their home without a good reason. Alara knew that animals often act out of necessity, and she wanted to find out what was driving the frogs to the village. Alara decided to go to the enchanted marsh that night. She was determined to uncover the truth and help both the villagers and the frogs. The journey was long and the night was dark, but Alara's resolve was unwavering. She wanted to talk to the frogs herself. Alara believed that by communicating with the frogs, she could understand their plight and find a solution that would benefit everyone. She walked through the tall reeds, listening to the chorus of croaks. The sounds of the marsh were both eerie and beautiful, and Alara felt a deep connection to the natural world around her. She spoke to them gently, asking why they were bothering the village. Alara's voice was calm and soothing, and she hoped that the frogs would trust her enough to reveal their troubles. Section 4. The Drying Marsh and the Hungry Frogs. The frogs understood Alara. One brave frog hopped onto a lily pad and croaked sadly. He explained that the marsh was drying up. Their home was shrinking. They had less and less water to live in. The fish they ate were disappearing. The frogs were hungry and desperate. They had no choice but to venture into the village for food. Alara's heart sank. She understood their plight. She promised to help. Section 5. Restoring harmony to the marsh and the village. Alara returned to the village after her enlightening journey to the marsh. She was determined to share what she had learned with her fellow villagers. She gathered everyone in the village square and told the villagers about the frogs' problem, explaining how the drying marsh was affecting the entire ecosystem. The villagers listened intently, their initial anger fading into concern as they realized the gravity of the situation. They hadn't realized the frogs were suffering so much due to the lack of water. The news was a revelation to them. Alara suggested they help the frogs by restoring the marsh. The villagers agreed, understanding that a healthy marsh would benefit everyone. Together, they worked tirelessly, digging a channel from the river to the marsh. It was hard work, but they were united in their mission. The water flowed freely, filling the marsh again. The sight of the clear stream brought hope and joy to the villagers. They planted new reeds and water lilies, knowing these plants would provide shelter and food for the marsh's inhabitants. Soon, the enchanted marsh was alive with croaking frogs and darting fish, a testament to the villagers' hard work and dedication. Harmony was restored, and the village thrived alongside the marsh. Section 6. A Princess's Compassion. The frogs were happy in their restored home. They no longer needed to go to the village. The villagers were happy too. Their nights were peaceful again. And they had learned a valuable lesson. Alara was proud of everyone. She knew that understanding and kindness could solve any problem. And so the village and the frogs lived together in peace. All thanks to the princess who tamed frogs, not with force, but with compassion.